Hey guys, it's Taylor. And man, to say that it is an exciting time in Lubbock, Texas right now, and to be at Texas Tech is quite the understatement. And I know that you guys know this, but in case you don't, or you've been living under a rock, for the very first time ever, Texas Tech football has claimed the Big 12 title. And in a really profound way, has captured the attention really of all of college football. Mm-hmm. But one of the storylines that people in particular have just gravitated to is that of senior linebacker Jacob Rodriguez and his lovely wife, Emma Rodriguez. And I am so excited to be able to welcome her on to Fearless Unscripted. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Me too. I'm so excited to be here.
And this is your first ever
First podcast ever.
Are you a podcast listener?
Yes.
Okay, what do you listen to?
I feel like there's so many, but
Are you like a true crime podcaster or no? Okay.
no. I don't know how to pronounce it, but like the House of Mare, please, if
Yes.
anyone from there ever listens to this, like I love you guys, but I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I'm so sorry. And then let's see.
We'll try to get the message to him. We'll do our best.
Yeah, obviously whenever Jacob and John and Ben and Bryce all did their That's Five podcast.
Yeah.
I listen to that regularly every single day. Every time they post a video.
It's part of your morning routine.
Morning routine, yeah.
I love it.
But they obviously are not doing that anymore. And I was really upset about it whenever they decided that they were going to focus on football, which obviously they should, but I was upset about that.
I mean, I guess now we have to forgive them, right?
Yeah, I got to forgive them. But I'm still upset about it, so.
Truly though, you could basically be part of the football team with how much airtime you've been getting this season. I always think about when the broadcast cameras regularly come back to the same person, I'm always like, man, I wonder if they're thinking in their mind, like, I shouldn't do this because what if I'm on camera right now? Like, do you ever think about that?
So I've had so many people come up to me and be like, oh, don't do something weird on TV, or I eat popcorn at every single football game. It's just the only thing that I can eat because I get super sick to my stomach before every game.
Yeah.
And so I eat popcorn a lot, and I get kernels will get stuck in my teeth. And one time I literally was trying to get a kernel out of my tooth, and somebody showed a camera, and one of my friends texted me and was like, hope you like that popcorn because everybody now knows that you eat popcorn.
What?
And I was like, okay.
Those producers, they did you dirty.
Yeah, terrible. But, and Jacob's mom, I sit next to her every single game. She'll always, before the game, she'll be like, did somebody come up to you and ask you if you were going to be on TV? Do I need to be on my best behavior? But,
I love it.
And sometimes we'll try to warn people that we sit around, especially at away games. If we're in a crowd of not Texas Tech fans, I'll look around and I'll be like, just so you guys know, I stand at every single game. I stand the whole time because I get too nervous sitting. And then you might be on TV, so don't do anything dumb or say something mean, please.
It would be so easy for you to be like, I'm sorry, do you guys know who I am? My name is... I'm joking. You would never.
No, but it's fun.
I think that fact is really indicative, though, of how interested people are in y'all's story and in your love story. And I think that it's actually kind of moving to know that so many people have been so captivated by who you are and what you bring to the table. And it's a really beautiful way of being able to share your story. And I think that I think there's a lot of power in that, and for people to be able to Tom Rinaldi.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He is one of the greatest sports storytellers ever, and for him to be the one to get to tell your life story is so cool.
That was an honor. Whenever we got reached out to by Fox, their producer Scott, he was awesome to us. They just really took that and made it an incredible story, and it was so beautiful getting to watch it. I have it on my phone and I just watch it very regularly.
In between listening back to the podcast episodes?
Oh yeah. But actually, a lot of people ask me if I go back and watch the TV version of the football game, and I've only done it one time, and it was because of one of the plays that Jacob had. I really wanted to see it again. But I don't watch the football games back, so whenever people tell me that I'm on TV a lot or I get a lot of airtime, I don't truly understand what they mean because I don't ever watch them.
Right.
Back,
what is the one that you do go back to watch, or you have gone back to watch?
I don't even remember where we were. I think it was maybe right after the Utah game. he had that interception in Utah. And I think that we literally got done with the game. Like, I flew into the game that morning because my flights were all like delayed or canceled due to weather. And then like the radar was down in Dallas, I think, at that point. But I flew in that morning, landed at 7 a.m. And then the game started at, I think, 10, or it was like a 10 o'clock kick because it was the big noon kick, or maybe a 9 o'clock kick because of the time zone change. I don't even remember. But we showed up, and Tom aired our story. It was awesome. And then Jacob got an interception in that game. So I was like, I'm going to go back. And when I wanted to watch the story on TV, and then I wanted to watch Jacob's interception. So that's the only one that I've gone back and watched. And we literally put it on in the Airbnb like that night. And then I fell asleep on the couch with, like, me and Jacob's dad were watching it. And, like, his family went on, like, a hike. And Jacob's dad and I were just like, no, we're going to sit here on the couch. And we both fell asleep.
I love it.
Watching Jacob play football.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So.
It's a perfect day, right?
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I want to know a little bit more about how, can we go back to the beginning of you and Jacob? You guys are, would you, like, high school sweethearts is kind of what, even though you went to rival high schools.
Did go to rival high schools.
What was your first impression of him? How did you guys meet?
So we, like, knew about each other. So his two older brothers are my age. So I'm 2 years older than Jacob. But I had met his older brothers, and they're also twins. Like, I have an identical twin sister. Her name's Aubrey. She's the greatest. But he has twin brothers, and they're also incredible. Love them, Jeremiah and Joshua. So I knew them because we were in the same grade, and I knew their little brother. I knew they had a little brother. But we went to rival high schools. So I went to Wichita Falls High School, Old High, and he went to Ryder. But we really didn't officially, like, meet each other until this summer before my senior year in high school. And we met at a church camp. We, like, officially met at a church camp. Like, that's how we really interacted with each other outside of school, because we, like, never saw each other at school, obviously. Was church. Like, we were a part of First Baptist Wichita Falls 180 Youth Group. Incredible organization, loved it. But we met at Beach Week in Destin, Florida. So we love Destin, Florida now.
Wow.
But that's really how we met. And I don't really have, like, a good first impression of him, just as, like, he was always Jeremiah and Joshua's, like, little brother, Jacob, for, like, a long time to me. And then I met him, and I was like, oh, you're, like, a human being. Like, you're a really cool person. But yeah.
How long were y'all friends, or did you kind of, like, know each other before you were like, hey, okay,
we want to be together?
Yeah, I kind of like you.
I would say that we were friends for a good, like, 6 or so months. And then kind of had, like, a rocky relationship start. And Jacob's brother Joshua, who ended up marrying us at our wedding, he officiated our wedding.
How cool.
Which our wedding is also a really awesome story.
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Okay,
Don't you worry. Don't jump ahead. I'm joking.
Whenever Jacob and I first met, like, I was dating somebody else and he was interested in somebody else. So we were just strictly friends, like, just truly, like, acquaintances, and knew each other. And then, like, down the road, we ended up, like, getting to know each other after, like, both of our relationships ended. And we started dating, but I was supposed to go to West Point, and I wasn't even accepted yet, but I wanted to go to West Point. Mm-hmm. And he had 2 years left of high school football and being in high school. And so we broke up, like, literally 3 weeks into us dating. And it was the first time and the only time I've ever cried over a boy. And my dad said that in our wedding, and Joshua said that in our wedding. So, but then we got back together, like, in March. And then we were together for, like, 3.5 years. And then my junior year of West Point, we broke up because of, at that point I had committed to, like, being in the Army for, at that point, 7 years. And then obviously aviation. Now I signed a 10-year contract a year later, but going into my junior year of West Point, I signed a 7-year contract, and it just wasn't in the books for us. We had done long distance for 3.5 years at that point, and I guess 2.5 years. And it was a really great decision, and we look back on it very fondly now, of us, like, being apart, because we grew apart, we grew up together, but we were broken up for just over, like, 1.5 years. Got back together, and as soon as we got back together, we were like, well, we're willingly getting back together, like, we're gonna get married.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so I'm so interested in who put together the plan for the whole.
Jacob.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go there.
Yeah. So we love surprises. Like our whole relationship is surprises. Like we love surprising each other. I love like buying him things. I'm terrible at keeping secrets. Like you can ask Jacob's mom. Like the other day, I like found out about something, and I went up to her and I was like, "Listen, I'm not supposed to tell anyone this." And then I told her, and she goes, "I already knew." I was like,
no.
"How did you know?" She was like, they tell me these things beforehand because they know that you can't keep a secret.
Nice.
And I was
Love it.
like, oh, perfect. So yeah, I can't, I try to surprise Jacob, but I can't keep any secrets from him. Like I will buy him a gift and then I'll be like, oh, your gift came in. And he's like, what is it? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll tell you. But Jacob saw like a TikTok video, I think, like it was way back when. And it was this couple did a surprise engagement, turned wedding. And my twin sister, Aubrey, was getting married in June. She got married on June 6th. If I get that wrong, Aubrey, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. There's
I
grace
think it
and
was
forgiveness.
June 6th, maybe June 5th. But she got married in June. And she'd already been planning a wedding for a year at that point. And I didn't want, we're identical twins, so we've always been compared to each other our whole lives. It's always been Emma and Aubrey, like, that dynamic has always been very prevalent. And so I didn't want anything to be different than hers or like try to take that away from her because she was the first daughter in our family to get married. And I called her, and after Jacob brought up, what if we did a surprise engagement, I called Aubrey and she was like, let's do it, like let's plan it. And so our wedding was just under a month right after hers. So we got back together in like November. We actually got back together at the Texas Tech TCU game because Army and Air Force were playing in Dallas, and Texas Tech was playing TCU in Dallas as well. I'm not going to talk about that game, like the Texas Tech TCU game, because you can look it up if you really want to know. But Army and Air Force played. I'm also not going to talk about that. You can also look it up if you really want to know. But we got back together at that point, and then in December, we decided actually after the Army-Navy game that we won my senior year. It's also Go Army Beat Navy week, so they played tomorrow. So Go Army Beat Navy for anyone listening. But after the Army-Navy game, we decided that we were going to get married. Told my sister. We got engaged in February after my 100th night dinner, so 100 nights till graduation. Well, it was before, but nobody knew, so only my sister and then his brothers knew, just like to help us plan with everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, on July 1st, we surprised everybody and we got engaged. And then we went to the house and everybody was there, like everybody who I said was going to be there, because they all thought that they were talking to Jacob and they were totally talking to me. But yeah, did a surprise engagement and then got done with that. And we were like, okay, thank you guys for being here. So we're actually surprising all of you, and it's not an engagement. This is our wedding. And my dad was like, what is happening? My mom was shocked at first. I don't think she like understood fully the gravity of like what was happening. She just thought that we were like gonna go to the courthouse. But I totally had a wedding dress, and Jacob had a suit. We had an officiant, Joshua. And then his mother cried, his father cried. Like, it was awesome. It was the best day ever. Like, I just want to relive it every day.
Yeah,
we like watch our wedding video every year.
Well, the video that was in that story too of like the announcement to your family was so cool. And I don't know. I feel like especially in today's society, there's such a competitive nature of like your wedding and for it to be Pinterest perfect. And I just think that it's really cool that you guys owned your own story and your own experience. And like you did something that was good and right for you guys. And I think that's cool. And you don't see that a lot today.
We also got the opportunity to not have to, like I got to see my sister plan her wedding, and that was too much. That was enough for me. I got to plan a wedding, so good. But planning our own wedding, we didn't have anyone's opinions on it. We did exactly what we wanted to do. And it was so special to us. And we literally got married, and then we had a pool party. And everybody jumped in the pool, and it was so awesome.
Did you jump in the pool in your wedding dress?
No.
Oh.
We bought, like, my favorite color is blue, so we bought, like, blue swimsuits to wear for our wedding. So, like, we changed into those, but did not. My wedding dress is still, I love it. It's still hanging up, but no, we did not jump in.
It's so funny. It's probably beautifully preserved. Better than it would have been if it was covered in
It's
chlorine?
just in the bag, like the dust bag. And then Jacob's pants, like that he wore to our wedding, are literally Lululemon pants, like the dress pants from them. And to this day, he still wears them.
It's so good.
Like he doesn't, like the coat jacket he'll wear occasionally, but literally he wears his wedding pants.
Oh, I love it.
So
You talked a little bit earlier just about being in a long distance, relationship, and that's hard. It's really hard. But a long distance marriage that's another thing, right? And I want to know about like what do you think that you've learned about yourself and you've learned about Jacob, kind of living in that life together and kind of going through the challenges of being long distance.
Yeah. So for Jacob and I, it's been our whole relationship at this point. It's been long distance, but marriage is the most wonderful and the greatest gift that anyone could ever like ask for or want in their life. So whenever you do get married to somebody, it's obviously like the greatest gift in the world. So whenever we got married and we knew that we were going to be long distance, everything changed for us, but also a lot of our communication that we had previously learned didn't change. And with that, we had to learn to take time for ourselves, even though we were long distance. It's really hard to still take time for yourself. And even in like a traditional marriage, I'm assuming whenever you live with your spouse, it's probably pretty hard to take time for yourself. But we both learned that everybody says like the cliche, communication is key. It totally is. Like that's so true. You have to learn how to communicate your entire day with somebody and want to be able to spend it with them. And it has to be an equal partnership of, I want to communicate everything I do with you, and you have to communicate everything that you do with me. And then you truly, if you're upset about something in a long distance relationship, like you tell the other person. I think in a face-to-face relationship, it's much easier to just be upset about something because you see your spouse or you see them like ignoring you or not doing something that you would want them to do. But in a long distance relationship, you don't have that privilege because it's a privilege to be able to be upset with your spouse in person.
Wow.
So we have to talk about everything. Like I talk to him, if I had like minutes, like if that was still a thing on my phone, I would probably have like 1 million minutes, just how much I'm on my phone talking to him. We FaceTime every single day. And then just like I was kind of saying earlier, like finding time for yourself, like fitness is both a huge part of both of our lives. And I know whenever
really,
I don't.
I couldn't tell.
I know whenever I don't, like my CrossFit coach texted me. She's so funny. But whenever I am not like going to the gym regularly or like working out regularly, it really takes a toll on myself and like my mental health. And for him, he's the same way. Like even just traveling this week, going to these award ceremonies which was absolutely incredible. He got back and he was like, I'm just ready to play football again. Like, I just want to play football. All of this I could lose today. I just want to play football. Yeah. So that's something that we really prioritize in our lives. And then being in the Word, like separately and together, and actually praying together and making sure that that's part of our daily lives is really what helps us. So,
what would you say, kind of on that last note, what would you say is maybe the best piece of marriage advice that somebody gave you? Was there one thing in particular that you're like, man, I just draw on that a lot?
So we actually, like any of our friends who get married now, we like write this on like cards that we give them. I have no clue who told me. Like literally, it's probably a most common phrase. But we say it's us against the kids. We don't have kids. We have cats. We have 2, Jack and Coke. Fun fact.
Nice.
But we don't have kids, but we always say it's us against the kids. And then you can replace kids with whatever noun or whoever you're around. Or an argument, like it's you two are not fighting against each other, you're arguing against the problem. And say the problem is going to an event together that neither of you want to go to, but you both have to go. Like it's not, the two of you are not upset with each other, you're upset with the fact you have to go to the event, so it's you two against whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best piece of advice we've ever been given. But we always write it, like it's us against the kids. Every time we walk into anywhere or we do anything, it's us against the kids.
Yeah.
So
a united front is absolutely the most important thing. And you talked earlier about communication, and I think too, like, I think this applies to you guys, but one of the best pieces of advice that my sister-in-law actually gave me was to enjoy the fine china. And I think about that a lot. I'm like, man, It's kind of like, what does that mean? But to really celebrate and enjoy each other and to like pull out all the stops to like celebrate somebody and their accomplishments and what they've done. I think it's so important. And I think about for you, it's not like you're using PTO to like leave just a normal 9-to-5 job, right? Like it's a much more involved process, I would assume, for you to like request leave to come and be present at these games and through this award season. And when you look back on this season, I would assume that you will be really proud of how you left nothing like on you put it all on the table, right? You pulled out all the stops to be present, to celebrate.
Will you say the saying again?
Yeah, to use the fine china. Don't be afraid to use the fine china.
I love that. I'm going to start saying that.
Yeah, do it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. I actually do get a lot of questions about like how do I leave every weekend? Like people ask me that all the time.
Yeah. Can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't talk about that one. I work a 9-to-5 pretty much. It's more like a 8 to 5, or sometimes it's a 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Like it just depends. My schedule is not, the Army is not traditional, and anybody who is in the Army or near the Army knows that, or in the military, for example. But I work Monday through Friday, and then I don't work weekends. Unless you're deployed, you don't work weekends, most likely. Some units do. My unit currently does not. And my commander is extremely supportive of this season of our life. He has been awesome to me and Jacob. And whenever I tell him, I'm like, hey, sir, I really need can I go to this game? He's like, yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for you. And we keep having these once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Like, how many can someone have? Right. But we have all these experiences, and my commander's he's there to support us. And the only time I've taken leave this season actually was to be here this week.
Yeah. I want you to talk a little bit about, as you're kind of describing that, like, both you and Jacob have, like, really profoundly committed leaders in their life who allow you to be able to, like, do this sort of life together. And obviously I don't know.
You don't know my commander.
Right, yeah. I don't. But I know a little bit something about Coach McGuire. And I wonder if you might just kind of talk about the importance of having that leadership who really, like, understands your heart and identifies with you and like supports and empowers you to go off and really physically be present in a way that not everybody is privy to that.
Yeah, I think that Coach McGuire, obviously, I love that man. I would do anything for him. He's going to be him, Debbie, Reagan, like they are part of our lives forever. They're our family now. They're never getting rid of us. And Coach McGuire tells me that. He's like, you're never getting rid of me. And I'm like, I don't want to, Coach. Like, I literally love you. So, I mean, Jacob is around him every day, and Jacob will say that everybody on Texas Tech will say that he's the same person every single day of his life. The person that you meet, like on a random Tuesday, is the same person you're getting on game day on Saturday. Yeah. Like he is consistent, he's incredible, but he's really empowered Jacob, and Jacob, whenever I graduated from flight school, he gave Jacob 2 weeks off to come move me from Alabama to Kansas. He didn't have to do that. That was in the middle of them training for spring ball, like their spring game. And Coach McGuire knew how important that was to us. So he was able to give Jacob that time off to come help me move. And then vice versa, my commander, he supports everything that has to do with our lives, any of my soldiers. And then my like counterparts that are also in my unit. If something is happening in our lives, he's very good about supporting, making sure that we're able to be at those events. So being at all of these events for Jacob has meant the world to me. And I send my commander probably a photo like once a day of like, hey, sir, like he just won the Vince Lombardi Award. And my commander's like,
no big deal.
Awesome. I don't know what that means, but great. Like, I'm so happy for you. I'm really glad you're able to be at that event. And
awesome.
He's really has been so crucial in helping me be able to go to these events. So even like I sat down with him at the beginning of the year and I listed out every single football game I wanted to go to, like spreadsheet style, sat down in his office, like price-wise, because that's a big thing in the Army, like, and then, so price of the ticket, what airline I was flying, what time I was departing on Friday after work, what time I was going to get back on Sunday, like literally the flight number, like it was an insane, and I did it with him, and we sat down and talked about all of it, and he was like, listen, Emma, as long as it doesn't impact your work, I would like for you to be able to go to those events. So I work Monday through Friday. I leave on like 5, 6 p.m. right after I finish work on Friday, get on the first flight out of Manhattan, fly to Lubbock or wherever Jacob's playing, and then on Sunday morning I fly back, and I work every week. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you always know that you wanted to pursue a military life, or always?
Yeah, always.
Both you and your sister knew?
I would say, like, for both of us, we wanted to be in the military. Neither of my parents are military. They're both educators. Grew up in, like, an education background, both of them. But for my twin sister and I, we both wanted to be in the military, but I more so was like, I want to be in the Army. And it was never anything else.
Interesting.
I don't know why. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that was not traditional. Like, I loved, like, all the war movies as a kid, but I just loved the idea of the community that it brings. Like,
Yeah.
you meet your best friends. Like, and Jacob and I have talked about this a lot. He's met some of his best friends here at Texas Tech. Some people that he's like, I wish I could have known them sooner because I wanted them to be in our wedding.
It's hard to imagine a life without them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, the people that you meet in the Army and the people that you meet in the military are what makes it worth it. And I wanted that community, and I wanted like that environment, and just a bunch of high-performing people trying to serve the greater good. So that's what I always wanted, and I wanted to enlist, actually. My dad told me I could not do that because he wanted me to go to school. He wanted me to get a college degree, because obviously my parents are education. They knew how important a college degree would be for the future of me and my twin sister. So I found out about West Point after my freshman year of high school at this event called Student Leadership University. Incredible event. Went to it all 4 years. Absolutely loved it. It teaches you how to be a Christian leader. Dr. Jay Strack, he's the founder of it. I can't say enough good things about that man. But the first day we get up there at SLU 101 in Orlando, Florida, Dr. Strack gets up there and he's like, okay, these leadership principles that I have are not my own. They're the leadership principles of West Point. And I was like, I called my dad. I was like, what's West Point? And my dad was like, oh, you know,
Girl,
that, like, he's like, you know that military school that, like, your mom used to threaten your big sister with? And I was like, yeah. He was like, that's West Point. I was like, oh. It's like, perfect. Like, how do I sign up? He was like, oh, it's kind of hard to get into. It's like, great, like, let's do it. And I wasn't the, like, smartest one of me and Aubrey. Like, Aubrey is significantly smarter. She's just literally incredible. I was more of, like, the athletic twin. She was the smart twin. She's like everything that you think of, like, that's good in a person is Aubrey. And so it was really hard for me to, like, try and apply to West Point, knowing that I have an identical twin sister who's most likely going to get that appointment or that nomination over me. So I tried to play softball there my freshman year. Like, I tried to get recruited to do that. Did not work out. I did end up playing softball there for 1 year, but I did not get recruited. So it was just literally by the grace of God and trying hard in school that somebody saw what I was trying to do and took grace upon me and gave me an appointment or gave me a nomination and then gave me an appointment. And so I ended up at West Point, and my twin sister ended up at the Air Force Academy, so rivals. We beat Air Force this year, so don't even have to say anything about that. You can go watch that game.
But that life is not for everybody. Like,
No.
It is. In fact, it's not for most of us.
Yeah.
And I have a cousin who's a little bit younger than me who is a staff sergeant and a JTAC in the Marines. And I'm telling you, like, the earliest memories that I have of him, he was obsessed with the Army. And it was like he was dressing up as a soldier every Halloween, and he had a Black Hawk replica in his bedroom, and he was watching those documentaries, and he was we have pictures that he would draw of Army tanks, and it just never occurred to us that he would be anything but a soldier.
Yeah.
And so now you get to, like, I look at the life that he's living right now, and it's scary, man. And, like, his parents, it's a lot, and didn't come from a military family, and it's hard for a lot of us to understand. But for him, I mean, he is living his best life.
Yeah.
This is everything that he could have ever wanted.
Yeah. I wasn't that crazy. I did
I don't
dress
know that
up.
many people.
I did dress up as like a military, like, I dressed up in, like, little military-ish uniform one year. My mom was like, it does have to have sparkles because you need to, like, not look like a boy in
Bless
this
her.
costume. But yeah, it had sparkles on it. Wore it to, like, I was a gymnast whenever I was younger. Wore it to gymnastics practice. Like, loved it. And that's the only time I ever like dressed up as anyone in the military. And then
She is a girl mom. That
she's
sounds
a girl
just
mom.
like a girl
She's
mom.
a girl mom, and my dad is a girl dad. Like, she was like, whenever we were growing up, she's like, you need to have sparkles. If it's gonna be blue, it needs to be sparkly blue. And I was like, okay, mom. So she's incredible. My mom is awesome.
I love that. Obviously, West Point is more than any of us could ever imagine putting ourselves through. And you talked a little bit about, in that story with Tom Rinaldi, you talked about how it was not what you expected.
Mm-hmm.
When do you feel like, and how do you feel like you turned a corner?
Yeah, I had a very, very drastic change at West Point. So whenever I went to cadet basic training in July of 2019, and I was struck. I was like, this is crazy. What did I sign up for? I didn't know that I always say that I wanted to enlist. I didn't know there was a difference. Like, I just wanted to be in the Army. Like, and then there's like enlisted personnel. There's like the officer corps. So, and then there's the warrant officers in the Army. Like, there's a bunch of different designations. I didn't know the difference. They were like, you're going to be a second lieutenant whenever you commission. And I was like, I don't know what even commissioning stands for. So I really couldn't tell you much about it. But it was crazy. And my plebe year, at West Point, your freshman year, you're called a plebe. So my plebe year, I did not like it. I was playing softball. My teammates were awesome. My absolute best friends to this day still come from my softball team. Those girls literally have changed my life, specifically 3 of them. But I was on the softball team, and I just it wasn't what I wanted. And I didn't know what I wanted, but I also had a boyfriend at home who was still in high school, and I wanted to be with my boyfriend. I wanted to not be anywhere other than West Point. Also, there's a lot of restrictions on you your plebe year. Like, you can't talk and walk at the same time. You can't talk outside. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you can't talk to other plebes outside, like your friends. Like, there's a lot of restrictions. What you can do your plebe year.
All the time, or just like
All
during
the time.
certain
No, your
hours?
whole plebe year. No. Like, you're not allowed to talk outside of your room unless you're in an academic building.
Wow.
And it's all there for a purpose. And I mean, obviously, whenever you go through West Point, like, you see how impactful plebe year is, and it really teaches you like a lot about yourself. Hands, like, you walk outside with your hands like just free flowing. Your plebe year, you walk with your hands cupped, like in a fist.
Why? What's it symbolic
Well, that's how you
of?
march. You just like march
Oh.
like that. So it's like you have to walk with your hands cupped. And Jacob will like make fun of me all the time. So in photos, like, if you ever see Jacob's hand like this, like it cupped at his side, that's why.
It's a dig at you.
It's because
That
he
guy.
cups his hand. But you're like plebe year, you like can't talk outside. You have to cup your hands. You have to like walk on the inner wall of every single building. Like, you can't walk in the middle of the hallway. You have to walk on the inner wall. But it's honestly like, it's so like funny thinking about it, and it's fun to be on the other side of it. But plebe year is not supposed to be a fun time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And I wanted to leave West Point like every single day. I did not like it. And then COVID happened. I got to leave West Point, which was awesome at that time. And I left West Point to come home for COVID because I was traveling with my softball team. All of the cadets were on spring break. COVID happened. West Point was like, hey, we can't bring you guys back. Like, go home.
What a crazy time.
It was crazy.
It's insane to look back on that.
Yeah. So went home, and then our senior class graduated, and then we were brought back for summer training. I was at West Point from, I think it was like July 1st or so, maybe June 29th through December. Didn't leave the gates once because of COVID. And that is the time that was a drastic shift in my life. So I left the softball team after I got back. After cadet summer training ended, school year started, and I made the decision to leave the softball team. It just wasn't for me anymore. I should have said goodbye to softball in high school, but tried to do it my freshman year. Loved the girls. It was awesome, but needed to find a change. Ended up joining, which is what I stayed on my last 3 years at West Point, was the Army strength and conditioning team. It's essentially where you're like a cadet coach, and you get to coach NCAA athletes in the weight room, and you also get to lift.
Cool.
And you just shadow one of the strength coaches. So like, my coach was Kenna Smoke Minichi. She is the coolest, strongest woman I have ever met in my entire life. She has 2 kids. Her second baby that she just had, literally pushing him in a stroller, running a sub 8-minute pace marathon. This woman is insanely talented. So she was my coach that I was under, and I loved her, loved learning from her, but joined the strength team, and as my friends, that changed West Point for me. And that's like why the Army is what it is to me today, is because of my friends, because of the people that I've been able to meet. And West Point became, I think about it to this day, like I wish I could go back and be with my friends again. I loved it. I love my last 3 years. Like even looking back on my plebe year, knowing how much I hated it, I would do it all again, just to have that experience with my friends again. And being able to be on the strength team. I was a kinesiology major, so one of my other best friends, whose wedding I just recently got to go to, it was the most incredible experience. I loved it. I loved my friends. They changed my life. I had a lot of them that really didn't know that I didn't like West Point at that time, and they just took it in stride and showed me all of the great things that West Point has to offer. And I ended up I call it like the best place on earth now. And a lot of West Pointers who would ever listen to something like this, some of them will agree, some of them won't, and that's completely okay. But all my friends who I love dearly and truly care about them, like they would all agree with me and say that they would go back to have our friendship again, just to live that close to my best friends. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Well, the good news is that you're really good at long-distance relationships.
Yeah, I learned a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I'm long-distance with all my friends because none of them live near me, but...
Yeah. That is, though, the power of community. Like, it's so important, especially when you're living such challenging life together, and to be able to, like, have someone who it's just this unspoken understanding of, like, man, we are in it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to last forever, but, like, to not feel alone is so important.
That's I think the biggest draw of the Army, and like the biggest draw of the military, is it gives you a community of like-minded individuals who want the same things, who have the same heart for service or heart for whatever you guys are doing at that time, and they become your best friends. Like being in Fort Riley, I've met they're going to be my best friends for life, and they're in my unit, and I've met people who are not in my unit who I would also consider to be some of my best friends, and I love them. And I would not change it for the world. Like the military gives you a community, and everybody will say it. The military, the people make it worth it, and it's so true. Having a community, having a group of friends around you that you truly love and that support you, and you support them it's life-changing.
It absolutely is. Can I just ask a really hard question? Like, do you ever get...
I'm a crier.
Me too.
I'll cry.
I'm not going to try to make you cry. But if you cry,
ask
I
Jacob.
will cry.
I will cry. So depending on how tough of a question it is, I will cry.
I just, like, do you ever get scared? Like, does it ever feel, like, intimidating to you to think of, like, what this calling might bring?
What it could do?
Yeah.
I think that I'm extremely fortunate right now that we are not at a time of war. The United States is currently not in a declared state of war, which I've had mentors, I've had people who I've met who have truly been in combat. I have not yet, but if the day comes that that's the reality of it, everybody who raises their right hand and takes that oath is prepared to do that, ready to do that, and I think it'd just be an honor. I love the United States. I think it's the greatest place on earth. And I wish everybody knew that, and wish everybody thought that way. I know a lot of people don't, and that's okay, and that's why we have what we have here, is everybody has the ability to like it or not like it, and it breaks my heart whenever people don't, but I think that everybody's doing it for the first time too. Like nobody's experiencing life for the second time. And Jacob and I say this all the time. It's their first time too. So we try to have grace for people and try to say that, hey, I'm so sorry for whatever is like going on in your life, but it's your first time experiencing it too. So however you need to handle it or however you need to do that, like that's okay. But everybody, every influencer you see, every politician, every single person who's also doing life at the same time as you, it's their first time. So I think everybody should just have a little bit more grace for each other and know that I don't think anybody's truly like malintentioned. I think everybody just wants good for each other, and at least I hope that. So
Yeah.
I pray for that.
That's good. Sorry, that was kind of a heavy. It was a heavy question, but I think, and obviously doing life with, my family, my cousin's been overseas a lot.
Yeah,
And
it's hard.
It's hard. It's really hard, and he's also got a young wife who's, and
for
it's
him.
yeah, it's just tough. It's challenging, and again, like you talk about how it's an honor, and you have to be built different in order to like stand up there and take that oath and mean it and be committed to that,
Like-
whatever the sacrifice.
Like if one day that was the case, I think that everybody who I get to serve with every single day, like they would also say the same thing. I get to be in a unit with some of the most incredible people I've ever met. And I think that every unit in some ways like that. So I think it's a very common sentiment.
You've talked about this loosely a little bit, but I'm just curious, how do you feel like your faith allows you to be able to live and to thrive in the environment that you're in right now, and in the challenges of being in a long distance marriage, and just like as you approach the sort of hard things in life, how do you feel like that helps get you through that?
Yeah. I think it's our world. It's everything to Jacob and I, to myself. I would not be who I am today without Jesus Christ, without my Lord and Savior, without, I told you I'm a crier, without the people who led me to him, the man who led me to Jesus Christ and shared the truth of that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins, and if you accept that and accept that he is your Lord and Savior and that he died for you, and confess your sins to him, that man passed away in 2021.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And his name was Wade Morris, and he was incredible. He was a youth pastor, and his daughter Eden is carrying on his legacy. Like, she's incredible. She's trying to carry on what he started here on earth. But he's in the greatest place in the world now. He's at the feet of Jesus. Yeah, it's everything to us. We would have nothing if it wasn't for our relationship with Jesus, and for the ability that we get every single day to say that I'm a daughter of the one true King. If I didn't have that, I would have nothing. And if it was all taken away tomorrow, if today everything was taken away, but I got to keep that, it would be worth it. But.
Yeah. We started doing this podcast because we wanted to hear more about people's Texas Tech stories. Mm-hmm. And I think that yours is uniquely powerful because you would, if you weren't married to Jacob, you wouldn't have a Texas Tech story. But I think about how powerful it is that, you are able to participate in this community that claims you as one of their own. And I wonder we talked a lot about community and the power of it, but what does this Texas Tech community mean to you?
Oh, yeah. Red Raider Nation is the greatest fan base, the greatest group of people that you will ever meet. They're the most dedicated. I know that if I ever need anything in life, or if I know that it's kind of just the same way as the military, but like if you know a Red Raider somewhere, you know something. Like there's a home for every single Red Raider in the United States. And every single person that you meet in public, Jacob always says Red Raiders travel, and they do. Mm-hmm. We'll be anywhere, and it doesn't matter where we are. Someone will be like, "Oh, I'm a Texas Tech grad," and it's like, that's awesome. But yeah, if I didn't have Jacob, I wouldn't have this community with Red Raider Nation and with Texas Tech. Only through my little sister, which she's graduating this weekend. Congratulations, Mason. I absolutely love you. But outside of that, like, I wouldn't have this community. And they accepted us, our story, our lives, me, with open arms. I've met so many incredible people who either they're Texas Tech alums, they're fans of Texas Tech, they are current Red Raiders, current students, and they've just every single one of them is the best. They've accepted our life, our story, and they've made it incredible. Like this year, none of this would have happened without any of them. Like, I can't say enough good things about them. I love them. I love Red Raider Nation, truly. I want to meet every Red Raider. I love them.
Yeah, and they're right.
So,
Red Raiders do travel.
They
because
travel.
they said that Arlington was going to be a neutral site, and
No
I
way.
think not.
No, Miami's
was-
not a neutral site either. Wherever we play next, it's not a neutral site.
Yeah,
No-
it's going to
nowhere
be,
is.
man, it is going to be an exciting rest of the season.
West Virginia wasn't even a neutral
It-
site. It was
it's-
a ton of Red Raiders were there. Utah, same thing.
It's so cool that you've been able to experience all that too.
I love it. Like, Army football is awesome, and Army beat Navy, of course, again. But there is nothing like Texas Tech. There is nothing like Red Raider fans. There is nothing like the Jones. I mean, you cannot get into a better atmosphere than this. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what any stadium looks like. I will always. Jacob's last game in the Jones was so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna miss that, but I love it. I love it here.
You will always have that memory.
Always.
Yeah. You're lovely, and it's so cool. This has been fun.
Oh, no, it's been my honor to be here. I
Yeah.
really have appreciated it.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for
Thanks.
sharing your story, and thanks for being vulnerable and for talking with us. And let's go have a good rest of the season.
Oh yeah.
Let's go win a national championship.
Let's go 1-0 in Miami, and then we'll.
You're right. You're better. You're what she said is better.
It's
Let's
what
go with
Jacob
that.
would want. It's what Coach McGuire would want. He wants us to go 1-0 tomorrow. That's what they want. They want to have a good practice. So, but I mean, I'm for the Red Raiders. I'm all the way there.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for hanging out with us, Emma.
thank you for having me. I truly this has been incredible.